This is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus Smackdown. This is from September 17th, 2021. Last week's Smackdown, the best I can ever remember seeing. This week's Smackdown, shit. Comparatively, they did set up a nice 6-person tag for, I don't know, Raw. Weird. And humiliated somebody in their hometown after a build. Shaka. We take a look right off the jump at Seth Rollins defeating Edge last week on Super Smackdown, and then he attacked him afterwards and put him out. Michael Cole welcomes us and talks about what happened to Edge. We're with Pat McAfee. Fans are excited. We're in Knoxville, Tennessee. Here comes the Bloodline. They stop at the entranceway, raise the straps, talk about Brock Lesnar, Finn Balor returning as the Demon later in the show. We hype Lesnar versus Reign at Crown Jewel on October 21st and Demon versus Reigns at Extreme Rules on September 26th. Okay. So, yeah, that's foregone conclusion. Reigns raises his title in the middle of the ring. Pyro explodes. Fans boo. Talky talk. Out comes Big E, who is a Raw superstar now, but they go wild as Big E rushes the ring, yelling about how he did it. Reigns is not happy. You deserve it, etc., etc. Here comes Balor in his normal attire. So we set up that match. So we get the Usos against Finn Balor and Big E. At the end of the day, after a really good match, one of the better matches we've seen on television for the WWE in a while, Big E and Finn Balor win. Foregone conclusion, 'tis what it is. The long and short of it is Heyman talks to Roman Reigns after... and reiterates again that he didn't know that Brock Lesnar was going to be there. Rick Boogs against Robert Roode. Rick Boogs wins with the pump handle power slam, and then they all celebrate, he and Nakamura, and of course Pat McAfee celebrate on the top of the table. But then they get attacked by Apollo Crews and Aziz, who really lay everybody out of note, and Crews grabs the Intercontinental title. Ooh, and looks at it. Happy Baron Corbin is walking backstage for his match with Kevin Owens. We go to commercial and we come back. We see the shenanigans betwixt Kevin Owens, Logan Paul, and Happy Baron Corbin 2 weeks ago, and then he was attacked by Corbin. So Owens is backstage and he calls people trash, and here we go. Kevin Owens and Baron Corbin. But when Owens comes out, Corbin attacks at ringside and destroys Owens. I mean, he sends him into the apron, he beats him up. Owens starts to fight back, but Corbin delivers a chokeslam onto the edge of the apron, and then Corbin stands over Owens. Okay. Announcers show us how Seth Rollins took Edge out last week, forcing him to leave the show on a stretcher. Rollins does a promo where he kind of emphasizes this, I really put Edge out, I heard something pop, etc., etc., etc. Back from the break, they announce Bianca Belair's homecoming announced for later. Kayla Braxton stops Paul Heyman backstage, says she has sources that says that Brock Lesnar may be going to Raw in the WWE draft, and what does he think about it? But Heyman just belittles Kayla, sort of deflects, gaslights, and says Kayla doesn't have sources and all this stuff, and stop flirting with me and all that kind of nonsense. But Big E comes out, so we continue with Heyman and Big E stuff, which is always fun. Heyman basically goes, you were smart to pick a champion who would be vulnerable and not Roman Reigns. And then Big E says we'll see when he faces Reigns at Survivor Series, or will it be Lesnar or Finn Balor? The Usos attack Big E and destroy him, super kick him, beat him up, sending him into those cases. Big E goes down and they talk trash on him. And then Reigns gives his approval to the Usos. Yay. So Seth Rollins comes out, talks more about how he heard a pop and felt a crunch and how it was like a cockroach and all this kind of stuff. Did I go too far, fans? Yes, I did. But he's like, I did everything and it was legal. He's not done with Edge by a long shot. Apparently, Beth Phoenix said Edge is at home recovering. He goes on and on and on. Gets a big long promo, and then this segment ends. Eesh. Kayla's back there with Becky Lynch. Kayla asks if Bianca's Belair's homecoming will give her added momentum. Becky says momentum's tricky until you meet an opposing force. And Belair had a lot of momentum until SummerSlam, etc., etc. We gotta put over that Becky Lynch beat her in less than 30 seconds again and again, as many times as you can. We get Zelina Vega and Carmella against Toni Storm and Liv Morgan. It is what it is. Carmella gets thrown into the buckle and then keeps selling her nose like she's dying. And so she gets counted out because she won't come back in the ring, which is weird. And then Liv challenges Carmella to a match at Extreme Rules. What? Oh, God. Street Profits are hyped up backstage, ready for Bianca Belair's homecoming and the after party. And then they address the Usos, and they're going to come after the tag titles. Still to come, Finn Balor and the Saga of the Demon. We come back. Carmella's in the trainer room with Zelina Vega, Sonya Deville, and Adam Pearce. Carmella's nose isn't broken. Vega says she's still beautiful. Carmella addresses Liv Morgan and says it's on at Extreme Rules. But Vega says Morgan must face her first. Okay. Finn Balor's backstage. Everyone wants to know where the demon comes from. And, you know, unlike Roman Reigns, I wasn't born into a wrestling family. I don't have a bloodline. And my family were railroad workers and wasn't supposed to be here. So babyface, babyface, babyface. Balor does not summon the demon. It summons him. Etc. Dominic Mysterio against Sami Zayn. Dominic gives more of a match, Ray playing the stage mother and overbearing father. At the end of the day, Sami Zayn wins. Video package looking at Bianca Belair's homecoming in Knoxville this week and her visit to a pep rally at her former high school. God, she's really going to get embarrassed, isn't she? Pyro hits. Kane makes his way out to the ring in a regular suit. Everyone's happy. That's cool. They announce Zelina Vega and Liv Morgan for next week, and Apollo Crews challenging Shinsuke Nakamura. Kane takes the mic, basically gives a big build-up. Here comes Bianca Belair. She's happy. They give her the key to the city. That's all good, but then Lynch comes singing Rocky Top because heel, I guess. And then at the end of the day, Becky Lynch, after a bit of a tussle, drops her with a rock bottom. And the announcers remind us once again how Belair lost in less than 30 seconds. Boy.